There's a certain kind of woman that leaves you feeling confused long after you stop talking to her. She isn't cold, she isn't distant, and she definitely isn't uninterested. In fact, she feels almost too connected to you. One moment, she's laughing at everything you say, asking about your day, opening up about things she never tells anyone, looking at you in a way that feels personal, intense, almost dangerous. Then suddenly, she pulls away. Messages slow down. Her tone changes. She becomes hard to read, and you're left wondering what you did wrong. You replay every conversation, every joke, every word. Did I say something? Did I push too much? Did I imagine the connection? But here's the truth most men never realize. When a woman wants you deeply, sometimes the first thing she does is try to escape you. Not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. What you're seeing isn't rejection, it's emotional panic. It's the moment when attraction becomes powerful enough to feel dangerous. Her heart moves towards you, while her fear pulls her away. And that push-pull creates the most confusing signals a man can ever experience. Hot one day, cold the next, close, then distant, open, then guarded. If this sounds familiar, stay with me. Because once you understand what's really happening inside her mind, everything you thought was mixed signals will suddenly make perfect sense. And you'll never misread a woman like this again. What you're witnessing has nothing to do with confusion, mood swings, or mixed intentions. It's something far deeper. When a woman starts to feel strongly for you, her brain doesn't react with romance first. It reacts with risk assessment. Because attachment is not just pleasure, it is vulnerability. And vulnerability means the possibility of pain. There is a powerful psychological principle behind this called hedonic reversal. It explains why the things we desire most can also make us feel the most afraid. The more emotionally valuable something becomes, the more painful it would be to lose it. So the brain tries to protect itself by pulling back. That's what's happening to her. She doesn't feel unsafe around you. She feels unsafe because of how much you affect her. Your presence triggers dopamine. Your attention feels rewarding. Your connection feels meaningful. And that's exactly why her nervous system goes into alert mode. If I let myself want him, if I let myself get attached, if I let myself feel this, I could get hurt. So instead of moving closer, her subconscious does the opposite. It creates distance, not because she wants to lose you, but because she's afraid of losing herself inside the feelings you awaken. This is why the stronger her attraction grows, the more unpredictable her behavior becomes. Her heart is moving towards you. Her fear is pulling her away. And until you understand that internal war, nothing she does will ever make sense. But once you do, everything clicks. When her feelings for you begin to grow, something very powerful activates inside her. Not romance, not desire, self-protection. Her nervous system reads emotional attachment the same way it reads physical danger, as something that could hurt her if it gets too close. So it launches what psychologists call an emotional defense response. And that response looks like sabotage. She starts doing things that make no logical sense from the outside. She pulls away after deep conversations. She becomes distant after great dates. She suddenly acts indifferent right when the connection feels strongest, not because she lost interest, but because the emotional intensity crossed a threshold her system wasn't ready to handle. Inside her mind, a quiet alarm is going off. This feels too real. This feels too important. This could hurt me. So her brain tries to create distance to restore a sense of safety. That's why the pattern is always the same. The better it feels, the more she retreats. Every time she lets herself get close to you, her fear surges and tells her to pull back. Not to punish you, not to manipulate you, but to protect herself from how deeply she is starting to care. This is why you may notice something strange. She disappears, but she never truly lets go. She needs space to calm her fear, but she can't escape her feelings. And that's when the real signs start to appear, the subtle leaks in her emotional armor that reveal what she's really feeling. Most men think she's being unpredictable. She's not. She's actually extremely consistent, just not in the way you expect. Her behavior follows a very specific emotional pattern. Whenever the connection feels shallow, she's relaxed. Whenever the connection feels deep, she pulls away. Pay attention to when her distance shows up. It's not random. It happens after long late-night conversations, emotional vulnerability, a great date, a moment that felt intimate or meaningful. The closer she feels to you, the stronger her fear becomes. So she creates space, not because she doesn't enjoy the connection, but because she enjoyed it too much. Her mind is trying to reduce emotional risk. And here's the detail most men miss. She always comes back. Maybe in a day, maybe in a week, but she returns. Because feelings don't fade when ignored. They intensify. Every time she pulls away, she's trying to convince herself she doesn't care. But every time she returns, it proves she does. That push-pull isn't confusion. It's an emotional tug-of-war between desire and fear. And the stronger the desire, the stronger the pullback. If you understand this, you stop taking her distance personally. You realize she isn't walking away from you. She's running from how you make her feel. When words become unreliable, the body never lies. A woman who is fighting her feelings might sound calm, distant, or casual, but her body will tell a completely different story. Watch what happens when she's around you. Her hands fidget. She touches her hair or her face. She adjusts her clothes. She steps closer, then suddenly steps back. Her body is torn between wanting to be near you and trying to protect itself. There's one gesture that's especially revealing. When she touches her neck or collarbone while talking to you, she's unconsciously exposing one of the most vulnerable parts of her body. That movement means emotional openness, even if her words are guarded. You may also notice something else. She asks about other women, not directly, not emotionally, but casually. So, are you seeing anyone? What's your type? What did you do this weekend? She sounds curious, but she's actually measuring. And here's the moment that gives everything away. Watch her face when you answer. If her expression shifts for even half a second when you mention another woman, that's jealousy leaking through her emotional control. She's trying to hide it, but she can't. Because when a woman is fighting her feelings, her body reacts faster than her mind can suppress it. Say next for the most shocking sign. This one sounds backwards, but it's one of the strongest signals you'll ever see. The more she cares about you, the more sarcastic, teasing, or challenging she becomes. Not cruel, not disrespectful, but sharper. Psychologists call this reaction formation. It's what happens when someone feels something so strong that it scares them, so they express the opposite. Instead of showing warmth, she shows resistance. Instead of softness, she shows edge. Instead of vulnerability, she hides behind humor. So she teases you, rolls her eyes, pretends nothing you do impresses her, pushes back on what you say. All of it is emotional armor. It creates distance while keeping you close. But here's the moment that reveals everything. Watch what happens when you become genuinely vulnerable with her. Not dramatic, not needy, just real. The sarcasm disappears. Her tone softens. Her eyes change. For a few seconds, you see the person behind the wall. That shift is not random. That's her real feelings breaking through. Everything else was protection. A woman who is fighting her feelings will do something that seems small, but is actually very powerful. She remembers everything about you. That story you told weeks ago, the food you don't like, the goal you're working toward, the random detail you thought she forgot. She brings it up casually, like it's nothing, but it means everything. Here's why. When someone matters emotionally, the brain releases dopamine every time we think about them. That dopamine doesn't just create attraction, it strengthens memory. So your words, your stories, your habits, they get stored. Not because she's trying to remember them, but because her brain has decided that you are important. Even while she's trying to convince herself she doesn't care, her mind keeps collecting pieces of you. This is one of the biggest contradictions of hidden desire. She may act distant, but mentally, she is paying close attention. Because you don't remember details about someone you don't feel connected to. You may notice something strange. With her friends, she's relaxed, confident, effortless. But with you, something shifts. There's tension in the air, a charged energy, a sense that something is happening beneath the surface. That's because attraction doesn't create calm. It creates awareness. She becomes hyper-aware of how she looks, how she's sitting, how close she is to you. She touches her face, adjusts her clothes, fidgets. And here's the unconscious giveaway. She mirrors you. If you lean in, she leans in. If you smile, she smiles. If you slow down, she slows down. But then, suddenly, she catches herself and pulls back. That moment is pure truth. Her body is moving toward you, while her mind is still trying to protect her. Calm means indifference. Nervous energy means desire. When a woman acts composed around everyone else but slightly unsettled around you, it's not awkwardness. It's attraction she hasn't decided what to do with yet. When men start noticing these signs, they usually do one of two things. Both are wrong. The first mistake is pushing for clarity. They ask, "What are we? Why are you acting like this? Do you like me or not?" To her nervous system, this doesn't feel like honesty. It feels like pressure, and pressure feels like danger, so her walls go up even higher. The second mistake is emotional withdrawal. He gets tired of the mixed signals and pulls away completely. No warmth, no presence, no connection. That doesn't make her open up. It lets her convince herself that she was right to protect her heart, so she shuts down the feelings instead. One path triggers her fear, the other path kills the connection. But there is a third way, the one that actually works. When a woman is fighting her feelings, she doesn't need pressure, she needs emotional safety. But not the kind that feels weak or needy, the kind that feels steady. You don't chase when she pulls away. You don't disappear when she creates distance. You stay calm, grounded, unmoved. Your consistency becomes her anchor. When she's hot and cold, you stay warm and stable. Not intense, not distant, just present. This tells her nervous system something powerful. I don't have to protect myself from him. At the same time, you give her space, not silence, space. You let her breathe without feeling abandoned. Then you reappear with value, a thoughtful message, a funny story, something that reminds her how good she feels when you're around. This creates a new emotional pattern in her mind. When he's here, I feel good. When he's gone, I miss him. That's how fear turns into attachment. And there's one more piece. You show vulnerability first, but not weakness. You share something real, a challenge, a dream, something meaningful. This tells her it's safe to feel. And when she feels safe, her walls begin to fall.